Well, firstly, to introduce myself, my name is, as Russell said, Rhiannon Ewing-James. I'm the creative producer here with British Ceramics Biennial. I started working with BCB since 2017, so since before that festival. And I specifically moved over. I was based in Belfast before then, as you can tell by my accent, I'm not from around here. Was based in Belfast working with an arts organisation, and moved over here specifically to work with British Ceramics Biennial and to work in Stoke-on-Trent. It just was so perfect for me. I come from a ceramics background, started with a really amazing A-level art teacher who really inspired me to work in clay. Studied at a university, then worked in various places involved in ceramics, and I couldn't be anywhere more perfect. So my job, I feel like I've got the really lucky job. I get to work with a lot of the artists that we work with and exhibit on the run up to the festival. So it's been an absolute delight to have worked with them this year. And particularly this year's festival, I mean, we haven't had the chance to be together in person for so long. So many colleagues and peers out there in the field have had events cancelled over the last 18 months and more. And they haven't been able to host people and welcome people to spaces or to host exhibitions and such. So I feel so incredibly lucky to have been able to work with artists, an amazing team and partners throughout the city in making this happen. And those also who have been very patient with us. We had so just to give you a context of the festival this year, we had a very recent venue change, which was just over 10 weeks ago, which is kind of hard to believe. We had a venue change. We were formerly located at the Spodeworks factory site in the wonderful China Halls. If anybody doesn't know it, I'll maybe share some images with you, or if there's a chance for you to go and see it, I definitely would recommend it. And because of structural issues that had occurred in the building, we couldn't take place there this year, but the council have been amazing in helping us relocate to the goods yard and just making that possible. So for those of you who have visited and for those who are yet to visit, do keep it in mind that we installed that festival in 3 weeks, which kind of blows my mind, but it's down to the absolute, like the dedication and hard work of such an incredible team that I work with. And so here's the goods yard. It's being developed by Capital and Centric. They're a Manchester-based development business. And so they're going to be developing the site and the land. You'll probably have seen an article in the Sentinel that went out some weeks, months ago. Does anybody know anything about BCB in terms of how we began? I could give you a quick overview of that just to give you a bit of history. So BCB started as a regeneration project in the city of Stoke-on-Trent back in 2009. It was originally only planned to be a 2-year project. And then here we are nearly, 12 years later, something crazy like that. And so since 2009, BCB has grown. It has worked with various partners throughout the city, still championing the best of contemporary ceramics taking place here in the UK. Since 2009, as I've said, BCB has grown, and that is in regards to how it works with communities and how we hold them at the core and at the heart of everything that we do. I'll keep talking about them a little bit now. There's some amazing projects which we have undertaken this year, which have worked really meaningfully with communities. We have community engagement, health programs, education and such, but I can tell you a little bit more about that later. And yeah, it's been some journey, and here we are, 2021, a few festivals later, and now at the goods yard. So you'll not be able to miss us. We're on Glebe Street. You'll not be able to miss us for the magenta pink. So just look for magenta pink and you'll be beaconed towards the goods yard. And this is just to give you a little bit of a sneak peek into the architecture of the building, which is absolutely fabulous. The goods yard is such an unusual building. It looks like an absolute warehouse from the outside. You don't imagine that there's going to be this TARDIS of a building inside with this beautiful vaulted ceiling, dark, rich Stoke brick. So it's incredibly rich. So it's a combination of this and a really interesting 80s office vibes going on with mahogany window frames and doorways and office spaces, but it's lended itself really, really wonderfully to exhibiting contemporary ceramic art this year, providing almost pavilions and designated exhibition spaces for some of the artworks. And so, as I mentioned a few seconds ago, so as well as a biennial festival, we take place and celebrate the best of contemporary ceramics every 2 years. We have an underpinning and integral year-round programme, and that is commissioning artists, working incredibly closely with our communities through community engagement, workshops, through health programmes, working with health providers in the city, education programmes through our Clay School initiative, and specific and special projects led by artists. We have studio facilities for anybody who wants to dabble in clay, and that's hosted at our Spodeworks Studio Hub, which is still there. You can still go and book in to get clay underneath your fingernails anytime you want. We host resident artists. They are international artists when we're able to. This year it's less possible. We host local artists. Laura Plant was due to be an artist in residence with us, being one of the Fresh Talent Award winners from 2019. And also we host national artists in residence, and we host workshops for people who want to learn about clay and are coming from any level of experience or knowledge, from absolute novice to somebody who's maybe more professional in their making. And so the festival this year, our headline exhibition, this will be one of the first exhibitions which you'll see as part of the festival and its award. This is our headline show, as I said, for established artists, makers and potters. This year's selection, I don't envy the selection panel. We had 160 applications for this show and only 10 could be selected. And now we have the 10 exhibitors in place. Now the panel needs to choose one winner. And they've got a grand prize of £5,000 and a commission for the next BCB festival. The decision will be made and announced on the 24th of September. So not this Friday, but next. So you're welcome to come in, tell me who you think could win, and we'll see if you've chosen the right one. And for this year's award, it's pretty incredible. A lot of the work some of the work is political, some is in reflection on these last 18 months. Here, as you see, Helen Beard with just a snapshot insight into her installation, Ghost Town Britain, talking about how our streets were empty during lockdowns as we were going in and out of lockdowns. She lives in London and so has created this townscape of her local environment. And so it'll be interestingly familiar for many people, where you might see your neighbours out with their kids banging pots and pans, or others who might have taken up outdoor swimming. It's a really sensitive work which seeks to, I guess, sensitively share the very vastly different experiences that many people will have had. We have Stephen Dixon, a work still reflective on these current times, mainly, also political in nature. This is a body of work, A Ship of Dreams and Nightmares, in reflection to sometimes the harrowing journey that many refugees and asylum seekers will have taken to find refuge. And each of these objects comprised within this contemporary migrant ship shape have been chosen by refugees and asylum seekers who are currently located here in Stoke-on-Trent. So he's worked really closely with a local community group called Burslem Jubilee Project in the creation of this work. We have Alison Cook and Ho Lai, both again making quite political statements with their work. Alison Cook around climate change, Ho Lai around the transition of power between Britain and China over their rule of Hong Kong, her hometown. An incredible work as well, both of them. And you can see a little bit of a snapshot of Cleo Moosey's work alongside. Beautiful and impressive mosaics. Oh yes, here's a little bit of a detail which you can see, but it doesn't pay any of them justice. Any of her life-size figures, they're sometimes larger than life nearly, but the incredible amount of detail involved in this work. Each piece took more than 6 weeks to make, all made with pottery, shards and pieces, 99% of which comes from Stoke-on-Trent. yeah, it forms the material on her palette for creation and has done since the start of her career. Whilst others perhaps less of a political commentary and really just exploring form and material, just like Christy Brown and her installation Tableau, with her life drawing triptych behind and these beautiful press molded flat back figures in front. We also have an early career artist exhibition. So it's for early career artists, designers and makers and potters. Fresh this year has opened up its criteria to those who are early in their career. Formerly, it had been for those who graduated from universities and colleges, but we opened up this year for people who have come through any journey in clay. So we have people who have taught themselves ceramics through YouTube or through evening classes, sitting so strongly alongside individuals who have graduated from like institutions of really high reputation, like Staffordshire University and the Royal College of Art. It's an incredible exhibition of 26 exhibitors, such a range of work. I'd highly recommend spending some time with that show. We have fresh talent. We mentioned Laura Plant earlier. She is one of the Fresh Talent winners from 2019. So this is an exhibition, well, the exhibition we have at the festival is of these 4 artists. That we were due to host them here in Stoke-on-Trent and in Denmark as artists in residence. But as we've known this last 18 months, it's been less possible to travel and to be able to work with people in these ways. And so we've navigated periods of lockdowns and not being able to travel with Zoom calls, bringing everybody together within a forum like this. My colleague Joanne Mills was given them a tour of the Spodeworks factory site on her phone, just to give that kind of feeling, to give an aspect of Stoke-on-Trent and trying to fill in those experiences that a resident artist would have whenever they're in place. But we find that the digital elements are never a full replacement. It's the experience, and it's even sitting over a brew with somebody, and the conversation that you have is some of the most inspirational moments in residencies. However, the work that each of these artists have created is absolutely incredible and is a real testament to their resilience and bravery in exploring new work, pushing themselves outside of their comfort zone, and to create a really successful body of work that is exhibition worthy. So we worked with local partners like Staffordshire University. They were due to host Pam Sue. We worked with Wedgwood, the Wedgwood factory in Bardiston. They were due to host Alice Walton. Gulago International Ceramics Research Centre in Denmark hosted Tony de Jesus. And BCB, we were due to host Laura Plant. So a really wide range of different experiences for these artists to get their teeth sunk into. So we were posting clay and molds and stuff to the artists as well, but just such an incredible range of work. I'll shout out again, Laura Plant, a wonderful body of work. Yeah, you just have to come and experience it if you can. So next I'll move on to, so we work with artists, but we also work with partners, local, national, international. And so I'll just give you a bit of an outline here on this partnership. It's called the Ceramic Cities Exchange. And this is a partnership between Kasama Potters in Japan, Clay College Stoke, and Staffordshire University. They're really embarking on the idea of international exchange of knowledge, exchange of skill, and dialogue around what contemporary ceramics means to all of them, and especially between Kasama and Stoke-on-Trent, both places of real significant ceramic heritage and history, but also really exciting emerging contemporary practice. So I think there's more to come from this collaboration. They're due to have an online exchange later on this month, which is really exciting. We have worked with Portland Inn Project, which are based here in Stoke-on-Trent, Portland Inn Street in Hanley. They're led by Anna Francis, Rebecca Davies and Alice Thatcher. They've worked with colleagues of mine, Joanne Mills and Sarah Fraser, in the creation of these amazing fern bricks with their residents. If you know Portland Inn Street, there's a lot of terrace housing and so narrow gardens, and during lockdown, the residents got really into gardening and greenery, and so because there's not an awful lot of space, they wanted to create something that could make use of vertical space and bring some shade-loving plants and greenery into people's gardens. So this gives a lovely snapshot into that. We've also worked with the Leach Pottery Studio based in St Ives, Wedgwood, the V&A collection at Wedgwood, a wide range of partners as part of the festival hub. Not forgetting to mention, Duchess China 1888. They've worked with us in the production of a limited edition run of plates, which are they're a fundraising activity for our health programme. So they're currently on sale with BCB. That gives you a little bit of a snapshot, a bit of an idea of them. Becky Lindo and Bill Brooks were our award winners in BCB 2019. And the work that you see in front is their awarded work, their commissioned work for this year. Duchess as well were an incredible partner in stokemixplates. I think you've seen in that lovely video, people making plates. And so this gives you an idea of the work that some of our community members have created over the last number of months. It's a project which only really started in December. Oh, I thought I was going to sneeze. And it's an incredible project which just ties the entire festival together. Not only is it artist commissions and residencies, but it is working meaningfully with community members and presenting their creations as exhibits as part of the festival. It's a project which we're all so incredibly proud of, both in its exhibition form, but in also how it's reached out and worked with a variety of different communities. They've worked with, a care home Able in Newcastle under Lyme. They've worked with Stoke Recovery Service, various schools. The partner list on that project is incredible, and a really fantastic work to experience and see. Extending from stokemixplates, you can come to the festival and make your own. And use the plate as a vehicle, as a canvas to explore your own story, your own creation. And so you can come to visit us Wednesday to Sunday. That's when we're open at the Goods Yard, 10 until 5 p.m. You can bring anybody. You can make a plate. You can get engaged in our education programs, which are open to anybody at the weekend, exploring clay materials dug from the environment and testing and experimenting with various materials. You can actually take a tour. That might be with me. So if you don't mind this Irish twang, you can come take a tour with me or some of my colleagues and learn a little bit more or hear about a little bit more about the artworks that we have on exhibition. And so not only are we at the Goods Yard with our festival hub, there's so much happening in the city, from a wide range of public events, from Med in Stoke, a local collective and collaboration of partners throughout the city, delivering workshops and talks and events. There is a fantastic exhibition at Airspace Gallery called Use and Ornament. There's an exhibition opening this weekend with the Potteries Museum and Art Gallery with Professor for Ceramics Neil Brownsword, a fantastic exhibition. There is a pop-up shop in the Interview Centre in Hanley by Portland In Project. There is the Spode Museum Heritage Centre with three major exhibitions. Paul Scott intervening in the museum showcase, Haptic Tacit, and Staffordshire University graduates. There's the Spode Rose Garden. There is an amazing High Stoke Culture Festival happening this weekend. B&A collection at Wedgwood. I hope I'm not missing anything, but that just gives you an idea of what is just bubbling beneath the surface here, especially over the next coming weeks. So with that, I shall finish. You've listened to me enough, but if you have any questions or want to know a little bit more about anything, please feel free to ask. Thank you.